Champions Cup quarter-final between Edinburgh and Munster. I finally got around to watching this. It was on at about 1:30 or 1:15 here in New Zealand in the morning. So I've watched this one on replay. I had to watch it after the Saracens, Glasgow and the Leinster Ulster game. So it is the third one I've watched today, aside from some Super Rugby, which I watched as well. I'm not sure if I saved the best till last, but I mean, to be fair, people were talking about this game a lot before I actually managed to see it, and both of the other games I watched in terms of the Champions Cup ones referenced this game, so I definitely knew the score before I went into watching it, but everybody said it was a good game, and it was a really ding-dong battle, and yeah, viewing it, that kind of held true. Not the highest of scoring games, but very intense, and they compared this game in the commentary to kind of like a test match. And it did really have that feeling about it. It was very, very intense in terms of the tackling, the defense, the work at the breakdown, the crowd. There was a really big crowd there, a lot of guys in red. I don't have a Munster jersey. Somebody, I think, sent me one, but it might have got lost in the mail. So I've got kind of a Christmas tree look going on here with the Munster hat and Ireland jersey. But hey, we'll move on. Before the scoring even got started, Byrne was sent to the bin for kind of slowing the ball down, but kind of key for Edinburgh, as during that period, rather than going and building some scoreboard pressure, it was Earls who actually got a try during that period for Munster. Purgos was kind of told to leave the ball alone, and he deliberately knocked it on. From that quick penalty, Earls tapped it, and he ran, and he managed to go in and score. Very smart play from him. And he was man of the match for a reason. So during that yellow card period, Munster won at 7-0 despite having a man down. So if you're going to win a quarterfinal, scoring when you've got the man advantage is probably key. Or at least keeping parity rather than conceding points. So that was probably a big loss. I didn't actually see it, but there has been a fair bit of talk for Conor Murray kind of suplexing is the way it's been described. Henry Purgos off the ball. I missed it, so can't really comment, but I know the players apparently tried to get the ref to go back and have a look at it after Earls had scored, but he wasn't having a bar of it. So, yeah, I'll take you guys' thoughts on that if you saw it. But from there, it wasn't that long later that Dean got his try for Edinburgh, so made it 7-7, and then Edinburgh kicked a penalty to go into the lead, so the lead did change before half-time, so Edinburgh went in with a 3-point advantage. Carberry went off. Yeah, fairly early, I guess, it must have been around half-time from memory. Blindell came on and he kicked the penalty, and early in the second half made it 10 apiece. Edinburgh went in front again, 13-10, another penalty. And then it wasn't until, like, that penalty was around 50 minutes. It wasn't until about 70, I think it's, 71, that Earls got a try, and the build-up to that was another Edinburgh mistake, and that it was Schoeman who just kind of did a bit of a shoulder or a bargee thing off the ball, and was penalised for it. From that resulting penalty, Munster went and scored. So you just can't be doing that, man. It's pretty dumb. I mean, he's a really good player, and I do like him. I liked him back when he was here with Super Rugby playing for the Bulls. But the one thing that you would say about his game is he does have the odd brain fade where he does something a bit dumb discipline-wise, and this was one of those occasions. And it was pretty costly. The resulting try and conversion made it 13-17, and that is the way it stayed in terms of the scoring. So, yeah, some key moments. Earls, man, just so sharp. That guy has a really good rugby brain and knows the right place to run at the right time. He scored his second try in a really as safe as manner possible. Was no chance of him going into touch. There was no chance of him not putting the ball down properly. He wasn't going to fumble it like we've seen this weekend. So, yeah, kind of deserved man of the match in a game like that. But like I said earlier, man, both sides put on a lot of good work at the breakdown, a lot of good tackles. It was kind of more about that this game than about sparkling attack, which is not a bad thing. It's kind of pleasing when you see guys just crunching into each other, and you see that little opportunity at the breakdown and somebody just jumps right on it. So yeah, I was definitely enjoying a bit of that as well. Um, but yeah, stats. The run meters were actually remarkably in favour of Edinburgh, 411 to 223. They had more possession, 61%, and more territory, 64%. So they had loads of ball, but not able to convert because that Munster defence and, like I said, their breakdown work was doing very well. They did turn down a few shots at goal and have since been criticised for it. It's kind of one of those ones where if you take a shot and get it, nobody says anything. If you take a shot and miss it, you've made the wrong choice. If you go for the corner and miss it, you've made the wrong choice. They went for the corner and it's kind of seen as the wrong choice. I suppose if they'd kicked all their goals that they had chances of, might have been a different story. But likewise, if they'd scored tries. So, yeah, I suppose in a quarterfinal you could make an argument for just always take the 3. I don't know. Darcy Graham was still pretty sharp. He led the way in terms of run meters. He had, it was 100 and something, 110 run meters, 5 defenders beaten, whereas Conway was the most for Munster at 38. So kind of a marked difference there. But I mean, Earls had even less, and the guy had 2 tries. So it's not necessarily how far you run; it's when you do it, and kind of what situation. Tackling, interestingly, both sides were at 87%. But Munster made 200 tackles to Edinburgh's 111. So it is that defence that is just so remarkable. It's not the first time we've seen it in the Champions Cup this year as well. They are just a really hard team to break down. In terms of tackles, Toulis was leading the way for Edinburgh with 18. But you look at these guys for Munster. Byrne, 19 tackles. Stander, 18 tackles. O'Mahony, 17 tackles. Conor Murray, 17 tackles. Including one kind of key one at the end when Edinburgh played on for like 4 or 5 minutes. It was like 83 minutes by the time the game ended. Murray made a pretty key tackle when someone was looking to make a break. So, yeah. Good for performers from both sides. I thought McAnally looked pretty good. Pyrgos, apart from that mistake, was probably a bit slow, I suppose. And Murray perhaps coming into slightly better form compared to what we saw for him over the Six Nations. But yeah, you look at that defence of Munster and you look at that attack that Saracens put on over Glasgow in the following game. For me, it was the previous game. And that does make a pretty mouth-watering prospect for that next game because Munster will be travelling, although it'll be to Coventry to the Ricoh Arena to play Saracens. So that's kind of got epic clash all over it with, Saracens who've been scoring points for fun. And Munster, you look when they went to Exeter and didn't get beaten. They're looking like a really tough team to beat. So that is going to be a heck of a game. Congratulations to Munster. The fans got out there and supported them, and the team gave them the result. It was tight. Edinburgh fans could still look at it and go, on another day they might have gotten a win. A couple of things didn't go their way, and Earl's just particularly sharp on the day. So, yeah. Good game, good crowd. And it's going to be a good next round kind of for the semi-finals at the later stages of April. But, you guys let me know your thoughts on the game. How did you think it went? Did you see that suplex? Like I said, I didn't really notice it. How did you think Earls went? Any other players that were particularly of note? You guys let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you again soon. See you later.